Hey, 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 hey. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. It's Friday, July the 17th. We're back for another episode of BizBuzz Live. I'm excited about it. We're halfway through the month of July. It's the summertime. But today, again, I think we just need to have this conversation around how people are making money in 2026 and really what are our options, and is entrepreneurship the way to go? Let's talk about it today. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Biz Buzz Live. I'm your host, Chris Muzan, helping you through all things finance. I appreciate everybody that's continued to lock in on this show, continue to lock in on these conversations. I think it's crucial for us to continue to have these conversations around how we're making money. For those of you that are just starting, right, or just seeing this for the first time, or just getting a chance to follow me or see the show, I'll give you a little genesis, like a little beginning of kind of how this happened. I've been in the financial space for 13 years, going on 14 years. And inevitably, I've sat down with thousands of people and had financial conversations, not just the rich. Matter of fact, not many people that are rich. I could probably count on two hands the amount of people that I've sat down with financially that have over $1 million, $1.5 million net worth, right? Maybe I can count on two hands, maybe an extra hand. I don't know. But it's not a lot. The majority of the people that I've sat down with over the past decade have been people that are average, ordinary, what we call middle class people, whether you're upper middle class, lower middle class, or below. Typically, that's who I've sat down with. And we've had these conversations regardless of whether people would come to me to talk about their investments or their savings or their debt or their insurance or their estate plan. Inevitably, we have to have a conversation coming back about cash flow. For your upper middle class people, the conversation typically comes down to avoiding taxes, saving money in taxes. If you're a high income earner on a W-2, you are getting crushed in taxes. I know you're getting crushed in taxes. That's the downside of being a high income earner on a W-2. You have no control over your taxes. You can take some of that money and do some things with it, but if you're never paying attention to the taxes over a long period of time, it's going to erode your wealth. You're not going to be where you want to be financially, no matter how much income you make on a W-2. Middle class, lower middle class, same thing, but also they need strategies for how to cash flow more, how to have a higher discretionary income. That becomes a huge conversation. And like I said before, I think the financial industry has done a really good job. They've done a really solid job of talking to people about where their money goes, how to budget your money, how to make sure that you're zero-based budgeting, or you have a system where you can look at a spreadsheet, or you have some type of, I don't know, right? Anything. You got something that's paying attention to how the money's flowing out. Industry's done a good job of that. Where the industry has not done a good job, my opinion, my estimation, is we've not taught people the first step of money, the first rule of money, the first skill set you need to learn when it comes to money is how to earn money, how to earn it. That's actually step number one. It's how do we make it? They taught us one way, and if I polled most of you, they taught us go to school, get good grades, get a good job. Make sure that job has some benefits. Make sure you might need to get a piece of higher education. You might need to get a master's or a PhD in order to get a little bit more money, but also still from that same job or a different job. And then you end up in the higher income earner side and you're getting crushed in taxes, because at the end of the day, that was only one way to earn money. Why Everyone that's wealthy or everyone that is financially successful either A, own a business, or B, have incredible investments like that cash flow them lots of money. Why? Because here's the part of money that they didn't teach us when it comes to earning. They didn't teach us that tax laws are written for business owners and investors. The actual tax code favors business owners and investors. Taxes will be our largest lifetime expense. If taxes are our largest lifetime expense and tax laws favor business owners and investors, no wonder why most people can't get ahead financially, because they're missing a little bit of the equation. If they only taught us to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get some higher education, it keeps us on the employee and self-employed side. You're an employee, then you realize you're smart, so you become a consultant, right? You become an advisor, somebody that like consults people to do it, but you're still self-employed. Tax laws don't favor that. Tax laws don't favor employees and self-employed people. They actually pay a lot in taxes. Business owners, people that own systems that run their business, people that own, multiple levels of entities, whether it be a trust, whether it be a C Corp and S Corp, whether, right, you have all types of things you can protect yourself with from a business owner standpoint. And then being an investor, when your money makes you money, that is where all of the savings comes from on the tax side. And if they only taught us one way to earn, it's likely we don't know that other side. So what I'm proposing to you here now in 2026, ladies and gentlemen, is that it used to be a luxury to own a business. It used to be a luxury to be an entrepreneur. And we're living through a time where I believe it's a necessity, right? Like you have to learn how to be an entrepreneur. You have to learn how to earn income outside of a job. You have to learn how to do that. I'm not telling you to go quit your job immediately if you don't have the skill set. I actually posted this on my TikTok. I had said something along the lines of like, you need a plan to escape the plantation, right? Like you need a plan in order to just leave the thing that's been feeding you, serving you for a long period of time. You need a plan. You're not just going to up and go. So there might be fear around it, but that's just because you don't have a plan around it. Doesn't mean it's not right. Doesn't mean it's not right. It's just you're scared and you don't have a plan around it. So we have to start to, it's now a necessity to be an entrepreneur. You have to learn how to make money outside of the job for a few reasons. One, so you can control your life. For number two, because that's how tax laws are written. And so if you want to actually be beneficial or have the tax code benefit you, you have to do certain things to allow yourself to get the benefits. Just because you don't know is no longer an excuse. We have AI, we have people like myself. There's tons of information out there. Just because you don't know how to is no longer excuse. It is the right thing. Jobs will not come back typically in our lifetime in these next 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years while you have some working energy to work. It's probably not going to come back. So the question, can you really build wealth without being an entrepreneur, without having massive investments? I'm talking accredited investor, $250,000 or more liquid that then you can go put into becoming a part owner of something, going in with other people in a deal. You have to be an accredited investor to do that. Maybe you're not going to buy the entire thing, but maybe you and 7 other accredited investors go get a loan for $27 million to buy the casino, whatever. I don't know how big your ambition is, but that's where like you having a strategy comes into play. So can you build wealth without entrepreneurship in 2026? Honestly, no. No, you can't. You need to. And it starts early. I'm gonna just show y'all this quick picture because some of y'all might want to see it. Who knows? You might want to see it. You might not want to see it. It is what it is. But if you take a look at it, I'll show it to you. This is my daughter. Shout out to my daughter, making funny faces all the time, right? But the reason why I'm showing you this picture is because this summer, twice this summer, she has chosen to start her journey of entrepreneurship. A little help from her mom and dad, We got a chance to set up a little store, go outside, have her sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours, learn how to count her money, learn how to sell it, learn how to, right? She's doing lemonade and iced tea and iced coffee and chips and snacks and all the stuff. And she went out this summer on 2 different occasions, one of them being Father's Day, and then one being after that. She made herself a good amount of money. Let's say $500. IRS, don't come after us. She's not paying taxes yet. But let's just say it's $500 that she made. Well, that $500 might not be $1 million, but it might as well be $1 million to her. And most importantly, what she's learning is the skill set of entrepreneurship. We're going to have some content come out, some videos come out of those things. But in the midst of us sitting out there, we're having learning lessons around sales, around inventory, around, right, just time management, just all the things we're having conversations around. And so now we're training her brain how to be self-sufficient, be self-sustaining. If she wants to have a job one day, maybe that's in her cards, maybe. But the way that she's learning in this household is that you don't need a job for anything. You don't. If you learn some skill sets around how to go create it for yourself, it's possible. See, sometimes I think when we have this entrepreneurship conversation, and I'm going to share a quick video with you, but I think that we think we got to go make millions of dollars, and we're not cut out to make millions of dollars and be some successful business owner, bigwig, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk type. But I think we have a little bit of a warped understanding of it. Your first step in building a business is replacing the income that you make at your job. So think about this. The lower your income is, the more opportunity you have to make money as an entrepreneur. Think if you make $40,000 a year, that's all they're paying you at the job. And you're working 40, 50 hours a week. The goal is not to be an entrepreneur to make millions. The goal in entrepreneurship would be to make $30,000 for yourself so you can leave the job. Does that make sense? Right? Like, I know we think the job is a cushion. That's fine, right? And again, it's there to pay your bills. But at the end of the day, being a business owner, starting a business, being an entrepreneur, it's not about making millions of dollars. Most people in the work world don't make anything above a low 6 figures, right? $120,000, $150,000, $170,000 a year. But the lowest end of workers make like $20,000 a year on an hourly wage, make like $30,000, $40,000 a year. You might get to salaried where you make $47,000 a year on salary. Then they take out taxes. So you're only left with 36 of that. So if that's your income at a job, you can create a skill set in business to just replace that. Just start there. If you're not happy at the job and you don't know, and that's the only way you know how to earn money, well, let's start creating skill sets so that we can earn just the same. Now, if you build on that skill set, yeah, sure, you'll start making 6 figures and 7 figures and 8 figures and 9 figures, God willing. But the first step, why it's not such a big jump, is like they're already paying you like crap anyway. They're already paying you nothing at the job. So now, can we just create a skill set so that we go make that for ourselves? This is the beginning stages of entrepreneurship. It's the beginning stages of entrepreneurship. Here's a quick video I want to show you too of somebody that talks a little bit about why most people also don't want to be an entrepreneur or struggle to be an entrepreneur, right? Because, hold on, let me stop sharing real quick. And just to give some context to the video, because it's not just the skill sets. I might harp on the skill sets, talking here on LinkedIn and YouTube about like sales and marketing and finances and operations and how to put those together and upgrading our skill set. But there's another kind of like silent killer, so to speak. There's a silent side of like why people don't survive entrepreneurship. Take a listen to this.
I finally understand why entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It almost has nothing to do with business or even making money. I think when most people hear the word entrepreneur, their immediate stereotypical conclusion is to jump to unemployed, reckless, someone who is always inventing, like the mad scientist sitting by themselves in the laboratory testing out different potions and shit. They think of someone just basically taking huge risks and someone who's probably crazy. And they assume the hardest part about entrepreneurship is learning sales, marketing, content strategy, building a product, finances. And yes, those skills are very, very important and they do matter, but that is not why most people quit. Most people quit because of the person entrepreneurship requires them to become. Entrepreneurship is self development disguised as business. The business is just simply the vehicle that exposes every single weakness that you've been trying to avoid, like your fear of being seen, your fear of being judged, your impatience, your need for certainty, even your relationship with money, your discipline, your ability to keep working when literally nothing is going and there's no results. It will put every single insecurity, every wound, all of your fears, like brings it all to the surface. It puts it all in one project and you are required to go through that and grow through that. And that is exactly why not everybody stays. And it's not because they didn't have the smarts or the intelligence to learn and keep the business. It is literally just because they were not willing or not ready enough to go through the identity change that the business demanded of themselves. I've had to let go of several versions of myself. I've built over 10 different businesses slash tried 10 different income streams, actually probably more than that. And every single business that I failed made me a different person. Firstly, I had to let go of my habits of not taking enough action, the version that needed validation, my fear of being seen, like starting my personal brand, the version of me that was a perfectionist and needed to know what was the right step every single step of the way, or what was the perfect decision before I even made the decision. Every single business that I built has either given me money, a skill, or a lesson that I've learned about myself that I've carried into the next chapter. And every single business that has failed has taught me discipline, has taught me resilience, how to articulate myself better, and just become more capable than I was before. And so I think most people ask the wrong question. I don't think the question is, should I become an entrepreneur? I think the question that everybody needs to ask themselves is, am I willing to become someone completely different in order to build a life that I know that I want? Understand that this is a lifelong game. This is a full-on identity transformation. Entrepreneurship will confront your wounds. And eventually the biggest lesson is that you will realize that you were not just building a business. The business was building you. I finally
Selah. Right? We say that, right? Just to let that breathe for a second. Man, is she right? Man, is she right? This is why I am an advocate for entrepreneurship. This is why I love on people hold on to this job versus entrepreneurship side of things. That's why you would often hear me say, guys, it's about employee mindset versus entrepreneur mindset. It's not just about do you have a job or do you run a business. That's not it. It's the mindset behind it. Something she said that's so crucial, that is the key, is you are going to have to become a different version of yourself. To answer the question, can you build wealth without entrepreneurship? No, because wealth is going to require a different version of you than you already are now if you're not wealthy. Money only grows to the degree that you do as a person. So your wealth, your net worth will only grow to the degree that you do as a person. And being at a job does not allow you to grow in the same ways that entrepreneurship does. Entrepreneurship, because it's on you, you have to face all those things she was just talking about, every insecurity, every fear, every doubt, every relationship you have with people, with money, with patience, with time, like everything in the nature of just even trying to build a business will change who you are as a person. And it's through that change that we're able to acquire the wealth. It's through the change in who we are. Money is just a tool. Money just brings options. It's neither positive nor negative. A good person with more money does more good things. A bad person with more money does bad things. Like, that's the way it goes. It's your identity to believe you're deserving of this money, that you deserve this level of wealth. Well, the way you get there is by learning yourself. The job takes us away from learning ourselves. School takes you away from learning just yourself. You might learn, again, my estimation, the nature of school is to learn how to learn. You need to learn how you learn. Do better when you cram? Do you better when you read? Can you manage your time? Do you just do it all last minute? Do you need to listen to things? Do you need to write out notes again? Do you need to lecture? Do you need to meet with it? Like, you learn how to learn in the institution of school. But then after you're out of that institution and you've already learned how you learn, then you need to keep learning. And entrepreneurship forces you to keep learning. Your job keeps you doing the same things. It's the same routine. That's why you get comfortable at your job. That's why it becomes easy money. You might not like your job all the time, but you know it. You're comfortable. You are not growing. And so in order to build wealth, we got to grow. This is what entrepreneurship is there for. It's there to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, not blame anything else or anyone else. It's not your boss's fault. It's not your family's fault. It's not your job's fault. It's not corporate. It's not the union. It's not no one else. When it's no one else, it's just you. And then you are forced to look at yourself every day in the mirror and say, man, how do I have to get better? Why is this coming up for me? Why can't I seem to do, man, it feels good when I do X. That awareness over years raises your identity. Entrepreneurship, just one big personal development program disguised as a business. That's all. But that's why people are scared of it. That's why you're scared of it. If you're someone that's listening right now, that like you've debated on and off about the business, you think it's about the business idea and having the right idea. It's not. You think it's about learning sales and marketing, which again is important skill sets you got to learn. It's not. It's because you're scared. You're scared of what would happen. You don't maybe trust yourself as much. You don't know that you're able to bounce back if you lose. If you take 2 steps backwards, you don't know that you'll be able to take more steps forward. You're unsure, right? Like, you're fearful, you have doubt, all those things. Guess what? They're going to stay there if you never confront them. They're going to stay there. You'll never become the man or woman you need to be to build wealth while you're comfortable, while you're not facing the actual problems, like the internal things that are holding you back. Because you have internal things that are holding you back from the life you want, from the business you want to build. You have internal things, not external. And entrepreneurship brings all of that to the surface, all of it. And that's why people quit. That's why people quit on their business. That's why people don't keep moving forward, is because eventually you don't want the responsibility. You don't want the self-accountability. It becomes too hard. You start really thinking you have issues, problems. Oh, this just isn't for me. No, it's just not for this version of you. But if you want the next version of you where all the money and time freedom and wealth and all that stuff comes in, well, you got to get through this version of you first. But if you keep telling yourself this isn't for me, then you're limiting yourself to this version of you that you will always be, and your money will be the same. So why is entrepreneurship so important? It's because it's a mindset. Entrepreneurship is a mindset of how you're able to grow. There's millions of business ideas. There's millions of ways to make money in this world. There's so many. There's not one that's cookie cutter that's like, I just do this and I'll make. No, there's millions of ways. But being an entrepreneur, having ownership, taking an ownership mindset causes you to grow and develop in ways that a job could never allow you to grow. It's just the case. When you have to show up for things and your life is crumbling, or you have a bunch of things happening in your family or in your finances, and you still have to show up and do that presentation or do that thing, it's going to test you. It's going to test your mental toughness, your emotional intelligence, all those things. But that's why it's so important, because your money only grows to the degree that you do as a person. And if you're not willing to grow, it's going to be really tough for you to build wealth. That's just the case, ladies and gentlemen. These are just the facts. I know sometimes tough preaching for a Friday morning. You might not want to hear it, but I'm telling you, this is how it works. This is how it works. And so again, is entrepreneurship necessary in 2026? I will tell you, yes, it's necessary for your success. You have to not only learn the skill sets of business, sales, marketing, money, finances, operations, systems, leadership, right? You got to learn that stuff. Don't go back to school, learn it. Do you know how you, right? This is how far removed most people are from being an entrepreneur. It's because you might not even learn how to learn, like know how you learn. Outside of school, you might have never taught yourself anything. Outside of like what they taught you in school, outside of teaching yourself the job that you do, you might not have taught yourself anything. You might not have picked up a new skill. You might be far removed from learning. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, we got to start that engine again of what learning looks like. A lot of people are just far removed from like actually doing work. We're relatively lazy. I'm not condemning, right? We all get to the place, but we're relatively lazy. We prefer comfort. When I sit down with people financially, normally 80 to 90% of people, when I ask them, like, what are we shooting for? It's some level of comfort. They're uncomfortable now in their financial situation, in their job life. So they're seeking some type of comfort. Well, the more we seek comfort, the harder our life gets. So we have to learn. But entrepreneurship puts all this stuff directly square in your face. So you actually have to do the work. And if you don't do the work, makes it really tough, ladies and gentlemen. Makes it really tough. I want to share this with you. I've been sharing it with you guys the entire time, or this entire month, should I say. We are having our Financial Clarity Club registration open. We created this Financial Clarity Club for people that need a community to talk about money. I think something that's crucial in our growth with money is the fact that we're actually able to communicate about it. We have safe spaces that we can ask our questions, that we can talk about our challenges, that we can open up to other people, like really have a group where we get a chance to talk about these types of things. I think it's crucial. And so that's what we started with the Financial Clarity Club. Again, you get a chance to jump in, you get all the resources and all the stuff we have as far as, right, their financial foundation. But more importantly, we're building this so we have a community where we feel safe to talk about money. Just like 15 years ago, talking about mental health was not a thing. Talking about anxiety and depression, probably 10 years ago, but let's just say 15 years ago, was not an actual thing. It's not something that we did. And now in 2026, how prevalent it is, how many therapy commercials you see, how much people are open to talking about anxiety and depression and, right, all of their things. It's open now. Why? Because people have created safe spaces to talk about it, to talk about these things. Money hasn't had a safe space in a very long time, if ever. Outside of your family or talking with your financial professional, there probably hasn't been many safe spaces for you to talk about money. That's what we're creating with the Financial Clarity Club. It's taking control of your financial future by really just opening up and giving yourself the opportunity to talk about the things or hear other people talk about the things that you're actually dealing with. Because we're all dealing with the same forms of things financially, just to varying degrees. And so this was created to be able to help you. We're allowing the first 50 people registered to get in for free for the first 90 days, have 90 days free. If you're one of the first 50 people registered, there's a few more registrations left open, not many. So if you're seeing this, you probably want to click that link, right? It says bit.ly/FCC first 50. If you get over there, you fill out the form, we'll get you in. There's not many left. I think last I looked, we might have less than 10 spots open. So you want to get over there. First 90 days is going to be complimentary for yourself. But more importantly, you can become a part of this community that's going to really bless your life moving forward, y'all. All right. So I appreciate everybody that has continued to reach out, that's continued to take in this information and really allow it to impact your life. And that's why we do this every Friday. We try our best to get on here on LinkedIn and YouTube and chat with you about how we are earning money, not just how we're spending it, not just how we're investing it, but how are we earning it? How is it coming in? And giving ourselves some more options to be able to do so. All right. Have a blessed weekend, y'all. Enjoy yourself. Do something that scares you and pushes you out of your comfort zone. Join our Financial Clarity Club. It's going to be really, really impactful. You're not going to want to miss the content that's in there and the community that's being built in there. It's going to be really, really awesome. Until next week, though, I'll see you guys.